Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama and this is Winning in 48 PM or Less. And this video is going to be a little bit strange or different because it's not exactly defending against a push, but rather it is defending against two base Muta, Ling, Zergling, or Baneling play, excuse me. So it is TvZ, and I'm going to be playing the Terran, of course. And so somebody came to me and they were like, hey, I'm having trouble dealing with dealing with two base Muta play, something like that, when they kind of rush for Mutas a little early and stuff. And notice here that at 9 supply I do set my rally point for this command center right over here, and that'll time up right there so I can perfectly just build that supply depot at the wall. So just something to do if you are a Terran player, and that's just a very easy trick right there to do. But yeah, so going back to what I'm saying, so he was like, hey, I'm just having trouble dealing with Muta play from two bases when they kind of rush for that and stuff, and he wants to do Marine Tank. So I'm going to be doing a Marine Tank variation here, and then I'm going to be pushing, or I kind of will instigate it. I'm going to kind of give you reasons why and stuff, of course, as the game goes on. So there are different reactions that you can take, of course, but I'm going to give you what I think is the best reaction, or my reaction, in this scenario. So nothing too crazy going on. I'm just going to be opening up with a 1-Rax FE. I want you to note that at 14 supply, you will have 100 minerals there to send this other SCV over and get the block off right there, just so a drone can't come in and be annoying and attack this SCV or check for gases. Though you won't have gas, of course, if you do block at that point. So that is kind of a tell for them, but it's just fun to get that block anyways. So I'm going to go busy really quickly. I apologize. But yeah, so I'm just gonna open up 1-Rax FE, get out my Marine, get out this this SCV right here, and I will be taking my orbital right after that. And something that some players do, you get that 15 or 17 orbital. I prefer the 17 orbital when you of course have that Marine being pumped out with it. Just because that's what I see a lot of pros do, is they don't stop the SV production, and so they keep it going, then they take the orbital just a couple seconds later. And that's just kind of how it timed up with that new barracks in the few patches ago. So I'm going to take this expansion, and I send this scout out after the barracks, and the big reason for this is I want to see what exactly is going on. You can get in, of course. This scout will almost always get in, unless they're going for an early pool. In which case then it's good to detect it anyways, because hey, then you have this wall, you can build a bunker back here, and you should be fine. So I get in, I see he's getting a gas, so already right here, something's a little different, because a lot of times players will, at least in the current metagame, wait on that gas till later, and they'll open up with 3 hatch, and then of course it's the 6 queen or 4 queen opening. So by getting this gas, you will have earlier speed, and you could either of course get Hellion from this, or whatever, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply throw down this bunker, simply because the bunker is going to make me feel safe here, or at least somewhat safe. I could put the bunker back here as well. I know some people like to do that and then wall their bunker in from behind right there. So there are multiple options for this. I'm going to go ahead and just throw it up right here, and then I'm also throwing down my additional barracks and my refineries now, because this is a Marine tank push, of course. So that's how it's going to work. And then when you do get supply block there at 27, this should finish up right on time. So that's just kind of how the 1-Rax FE tends to work out. And then I'm going to get this supply depot right here as well, and just kind of start building this wall. But I think I actually take a little bit of time to actually build up this wall right here, but it's not too bad. So here's what I'm really focusing on at this point. Something that I'm really worried about is this SCV over here, because I don't see a third, and it's getting close to 6 minutes. That's 44 supply for the Zerg, as you can see. So that kind of worries me at this point. I'm also getting near 100 gas, so I'm going to be wanting to get out a factory here fairly soon. And I actually want to get a tech lab as well, because with this push I like to have combat shields. I don't get stim because or I don't. You could get stim right now if you wanted, but there's not going to be medevacs over top. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I haven't scouted this third. If there was a third going down, I would probably get stim here, and then I would go for a later medevac push. But because I can't, yeah, because I don't see that third, I'm going to go ahead and just get combat shields, because now I know something's up, and I have to be a little more careful. I'd rather have my Marines with more health than stim without medevacs over top. So I try and scout in, and I don't see anything, right? Because he has those 2 queens ready to pick it off. So sometimes you can get straight in with the SCV, you can run around the base, you can see what's going on. But I was unable to do that. So what I'm actually going to be doing is dropping a scan here fairly shortly, because now it's important to really see what's going on. And I really want to see if he's got lair or if he's going for a baneling all-in sort of thing, in which case I could build stuff back there. And I scan, I'm going to go ahead and see the spire. Even if I didn't see the spire, seeing the lair and the double gas right here would give me a pretty good idea that it's not a baneling bust. Simply because baneling busts really don't usually tech up to lair. Instead, you're going to be using all that gas on getting out your banelings and stuff, and then so you can come in and hit. So if that were happening, I would, lift off these barracks, block off here, lift the factory, block there, build bunkers here, and pretty much retreat into one base, were I for sure that he was going for a bust. But yeah, so now what I really want to note is he going to be taking a 3rd base over here or not? And I actually really quickly also want to drop the sound here. It is a little high. So I'm going to be wanting to see if he has a 3rd, when he's getting a 3rd, because I know he's going Muta. So I got this engineering bay. That was the first reaction that I made, and this dude's just chilling. Oops. So that was the first reaction I made, was that I'm going to be getting this engineering bay right here. And also don't get as supply blocked as I was. That just wasn't the best. So I'm going to be dropping turrets down now. And I like to drop 2 over here, 2 over here, simply because 2 is definitely a little harder, especially when he comes in with that. He'll come in with that initial wave of units. This is just really loud. So he'll come in with that initial wave of units, like 7, 8, 9 mutas, and 2 turrets will easily deter that. If he comes in with just 1. Or if I just have 1 turret there, then you can sometimes pick that off and stuff. So I like to do that, and then I'm going to be waiting until I get my siege tanks out, and then going for a push now. And this is only going to happen if I see a 3rd. So I'm going to be scanning for his 3rd sometime soon. And if I see a 3rd, I'm going to be pushing. If I don't see a 3rd, that means he's still on 2 bases. And in which case I can chill. I'm going to be getting up, just a couple more turrets, and then just continuing to macro up. Tech up to my reactor starport, get out medevacs, and then start going to drop play, stuff like that. Simply because that's going to be good for me at that point. Because it'll be 2 base versus 2 base, in which case I'd be up. So here I see he's taking a 3rd base. What happens when Zergs take this 3rd base? They're going to want to saturate it. So they're going to want to start sending drones over, mining from all these patches and the gases, everything like that. So this push is extremely strong right here. And you can a lot of times push in and just do damage, because the mutas really aren't going to be helpful. So I want to scan over here, get a sight of what exactly is going on. I see his army. I can get in right past here because I know he doesn't have any banelings, and the mutas aren't enough right there to do damage. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to bring some marines back to defend my tanks, right? And then I'm going to be able to pick off his 3rd. And that's pretty much just going to be it for this game. I don't really want to show you too much more beyond that, because I do get a big hit on banelings. I would suggest splitting your marines up a little bit better right here, and focus fire down these banelings with your tanks, and then you would easily win. But as you can see, that baneling that connected right there was killer. So if I would have just had a better spread on my marines and then focused with my tanks on his banelings, I think I was just looking away really quickly, I would have easily been able to just win that, and then I could bring in my reinforcements. I also got supply blocked. It was just like a rough finish there for me, I should say, or once I was kind of pushing out, I got supply blocked, and then we're focusing on trying to get unsupply blocked. As you can see, I over committed that, and then I didn't split anything there, I didn't focus fire with my tanks, and so I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. But it would have been, as you can see, I even want to go back to right before that attack happened, and I just want to pause it, and you can see. So we're just gonna get up there. Okay, I bring my marines back, and I just want to give you an idea. Okay, he has basically nothing really. My army will beat his with any amount of decent micro, aka focus firing and a little bit of splitting. So I scout up there. These mutas aren't going to do anything versus all these marines, which also have combat shield and +1. That was something to note. When I did get the engineering bay, I did get +1. He has 0/0 lings and banelings, so they're just going to melt. and then I have my tanks. And if I just focus down these Banes with this tank, it'll be Bane explode. Marines will easily chomp away at the Mutas and Lings, and that's the game right there. So instead, he cleans it up, and the game just goes on for a lot longer. And there's no real need to go into the rest of that because this is not a 40-minute video explanation. So yeah, so that's kind of how I personally deal with TvZ Muta harass, and it's simply with that counter because he's so invested in those Mutalisk and stuff that he needs to do damage with them, and they aren't really good in like a battle form. They aren't good head to head with Marines and stuff. So if you push out with that 3-tank Marine army, and as you can see, I just started on those tanks as soon as I got the factory up, that first 100 gas or second 100 gas, I believe, after combat shields. I just started right up with a factory, got combat shields, started getting tanks out, and then I just pushed when I had 3 tanks and the Marines. And if I didn't, like I said, if I didn't see a third, I probably would have got an armory up, got another engineering bay up, continued with my upgrades, got Thors out to defend against Mutas coming in from, because he'd be continuing to mass Mutas off 2 bases. And then I would just continuously kind of keep an eye on his third until I did see a third go down, in which case then I would move in and try and push out with that army and stuff and do some damage. So that's going to be it from me. My name is MrLlama. I hope you guys learned something. I know this game was a little bit strange for you, probably a little bit different, but hopefully for the guy who requested it at least and the other people, you can kind of get an idea of what I was getting at and how to really counteract that fast Muta play from your opponent. So you can either push then or you can push before they even get Mutas. But I kind of want to showcase, once he has the Mutas, getting the turrets and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys learned something, and I will see you guys in my next video.